Peace, beautiful people. What's up, everybody? I'm in the building. Hope everything's okay on my end. Let me know if you guys could hear me. Of course, as always, let me know if I'm in the clear. Throw some nines in the chat for your girl. Let me know that we're on and a poppin'. Hopefully, you guys can hear me okay. Looks like I'm good to go. Salute, everyone. Salute. If anyone is in the building, of course, let me know that we are good to go. Before I begin, of course, I want to make sure that you guys can hear me. Just checking on my stuff, of course, and let me see if we got people in the building so far. Can you guys? Oh, yes, we do. Yes, we do. Okay. The audio is low? Oh, hold up. Hold up. How about now, beautiful sister Chiquila? Am I okay? I was playing around with some things and hopefully I didn't mess anything up on my end. Let me know if I'm a little bit more intelligible. Let me know if everything is coherent, so I can know that I'm good. Hopefully I didn't mess anything up on my settings, you guys. I am still very new to this live stuff. So as I make my little adjustments, please bear with me. Are we all good, you guys? Am I audible? Or is it still low? Let me know before we begin. And as you guys do that, let me salute the people in the building. Of course, we have the great Mike, 3 of my members, 3 of my gunners, 3 of my favorites are in the building as I see them. The great Mike Ray is in the building. Salute and happy Sunday to you, King. Chiquila Fields, my beautiful sisters in the building, of course. The lovely King Darrow is in the building. Nice to see you. We got the King Mo in the building. Hello. He says, salute to you, Queen. Salute to you as well. Thank you so much for coming. We got the King Eric in the building with his roses on deck for me. You know I love that, King. Thank you so much, you guys. Okay, Daryl says it sounds good now. Okay, I wonder if I was blocking something on my little stuff. Let me make sure that give me a second, you guys. Let me just position my laptop a different way so that I'm not like leaning on stuff and like skewing the sound and whatever have you. All right, let's make sure that we have. Oh, hey, beautiful sister Cameron, my sister is in the building. Hey, Cameron. Happy Sunday, my love. We got G Lex in the building. Have I seen you before? If not, nice to see you. We got the Sweet Science Examiner, another one of my members, and my gunners is in the building. He says loud and clear. Okay, you guys. Okay, so we are in the clear. The people can hear me well, and the family is making their way into the room. I appreciate y'all so much. Hope everybody is doing good, of course. And we got some interesting stuff to get in today, you guys. I don't know. Like it's definitely been an interesting week. Okay, we had some interesting publicity stunts that happened. We have some new champions that have been crowned over the weekend. Of course, we are entering into a fantastic fight week with the upcoming fights this coming weekend to look forward to. Of course, which we've been touching upon the past few weeks as we've been awaiting the particular fight card that's taking place this Saturday. Interesting stuff unfolded. We have some crazy, interviews that I will get into. And I wanted to dissect a bit with you all. I know it's been, touched upon by people who have analyzed it. But of course, I wanted to posit my own thoughts about it and give my own inference about what it was that I surmised from it all upon, sitting back and viewing it for myself. Interesting stuff that we definitely will get into. And I guess the first topic, that we can get into is, of course, the most recent, event, which was the fight that took place on Friday. Okay. Now, as we spoke about last week, you guys, when we convened on this particular fight with Keyshawn Davis and Denny's Baranchik, we talked about the fact that virtually no one was really giving any light or shine to this particular fight, right? It was basically smoke in the air. You know what I'm saying? No real solid conversation or anticipation around this particular fight. But it did deliver in that once again we got a dominant performance from Keyshawn Davis, which is good. Okay. So even though it was kind of a lackluster build, and it was so lackluster that they had to, purportedly go to the lengths of pulling a publicity stunt that I did a little commentary on earlier in the week with the sending of the bananas and the watermelon to Keyshawn Davis. It was to garner, in my view, some type of eyes towards this particular fight to ensure that I guess nobody completely forgot about it or nobody completely let this fight down. Right. So we had that little antic going on. And supposedly I heard things that Teofimo was a part of it and stuff like that. But we'll touch a little bit on that in a second. Right. So all that to say is that we have a new world champion at 135, you guys. We got a new WBL champ. Keyshawn Davis got the easiest victory that I've seen in quite a while. Okay. That fight was no pressure at all. Keyshawn looked like he went for a light jog after that fight was finished, right? He definitely got the W over Baranchik at Madison Square Garden on Friday via a 4th round TKO, if I'm not mistaken. Keyshawn, dropped Baranchik a couple of times in that fight, right? And he delivered a nasty, nasty body shot at the end. And it seemed like Baranchik's body was just not having it that particular night. He was not having Keyshawn's body shots, okay? Keyshawn had that man on bended knee like the Boys to Men song, y'all. That man touched that canvas like, no, okay? He wanted no parts of the body work, and the body work is ultimately what got him out of there, what flatlined him in the end. Amazing, amazing, dominant performance by Keyshawn Davis. I was like, damn, that man just couldn't handle it at all. In fact, it looked like, I couldn't help but ask, what the hell is Baranchik doing in there? Like, he looked so amateur. He looked absolutely amateur. He was, a complete mismatch, in my view, for Keyshawn Davis. The man had his hands all the way up in the sky. Okay, he was rushing in and entangling himself into Keyshawn to hold him every 3 seconds. That man wanted no parts of goddamn Keyshawn Davis. He looked crazy next to him, right? He just didn't know what to do. He was out of his wits. I was like, Jesus, this man, how the hell is he a champion? Real talk. You know what I'm saying? That man had no idea what to do with anything called a Keyshawn Davis on that night, you guys. It made me wonder how he even attained a belt, right? I know that he beat Navarrete or whatever, right? But it's like, Navarrete ain't worth a trip around the block, apparently. You know what I'm saying? I never thought he was, a good fighter. I never ranked him like that, Navarrete. But the fact that, Baranchik just, looked absolutely like child's play to Keyshawn. It's like, Jesus, why the hell was Shakur calling out Navarrete? Navarrete got beat by this man. And that's the man that Shakur was calling out. Well, I want to fight him. What the hell was Shakur ever calling that man's name for? If he got beat by the likes of Baranchik the way he was looking last night. That man looked straight up and down trash. Real talk, okay? Interesting fight. But yes, all in all, it was great. Dominant performance from Keyshawn. And it's certainly, the performance that he had is certainly the type of winning streak that he wants to continue to be on, right? This is the type of stuff that'll continue to propel him forward and hopefully into some big opportunities against the other champions so that we can finally get some unifications underway for 135. You guys know me. I've been creating, myriad, streams of commentary over the past year about 135, here and there, and just how disheartened I am overall watching the division straight up and down decline as soon as Devin Haney left and moved on to bigger and better things, of course, after he became undisputed in that division. The downfall of 135 has been crazy to watch. Okay, it's been one of the most devastating occurrences in boxing, in my view. because right now I place it as the most lackluster division in all of boxing. So hopefully with this new shake up and this new entrance of a new face, holding the WBO strap among the other three champions, of course, that's Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson, and Lomachenko, should he return to boxing, hopefully things get some momentum throughout the year. We are only in February, you guys. It's still very much a fresh year. Okay, we got all this time left before we end the year. Let's get some activity once and for all in 135, you guys. We cannot have another year of, being at a stalemate in this division. It's just sickening. It's sickening that it had lasted this long. Okay, so yes, we have a new WBO champion who has entered the building, and his name is the businessman, Keyshawn Davis. Now, I'm definitely quite curious as to what will come of all of this, of course, as stated aforementioned. Okay, yes, I'm glad to see that he won, but we know to the level of which, as I said, all of the inactivity has been just running amok. With these champions at 135. We've had 4 belt holders all of this time. Okay, Keyshawn is just a new face to the belt that he is holding. But all the while there has been 4 champions in that division, and none of them have met each other in the ring. Can we simply anticipate that the same will continue in 2025, you guys? I really am praying that this is not the case. I say it time and time again because it's true. Okay. What was interesting to me was that, after Keyshawn, won, and he still, I think that this is a post-fight interview, I believe, and he's in the ring, of course, and he's asked, of course, the most traditional question that you could get asked in the ring by, the interviewer when you're in the ring. And that question was, who do you want next? This is what was asked of Keyshawn in customary fashion, right? Keyshawn named no names. No names, you guys. He didn't name the names. And all I could sit there and think of was, this has to be one of the most lackluster things that you can do upon winning a championship ever. Why is it that you wouldn't name the names? You got the whole world watching you right now. After scooping up your first title in all of your career, people want to know who you are gunning for, right? The very people whose asses are in those seats and the very eyes who are watching this broadcast right now want to know, so that they can make the arrangements in the future, whenever that day may come, to support you again. What is this man's problem that he can't get that? It excites the public, okay? It entices us to want to continue to support you and see you in the biggest matchups possible. Why aren't you naming the goddamn names? This is exactly what we spoke of last week when I told you about his goddamn Tourette's. Okay, 1 minute he's calling out people's names and goddamn light skin. Where's light skinned? Get light skinned in the building. I'm gonna cook light skinned up for dinner. And the next minute he don't want you. He want to run and hide and act like he didn't have all that smoke just 2 seconds earlier. What is going on? Okay, and I think this is one of the reasons why 35 has been suffering for all of this time, because nobody wants to really claim turf. Nobody wants to claim turf. Hence, all of the inactivity at 135, hence all of the avoidance happening in and around and among the champions in this division. It's absolutely crazy. 1 minute he's barking up on the internet, doing interviews and, chopping up Tank into little bits and all his conversations. Yeah, he can't beat me. No, he can't deny me. Then the next minute, he doesn't want to utter a single word about that man. It's crazy. And in another post interview, one reporter asked him, how big of a fight would it be, to make that Davis versus Davis fight? Like, how big would it be? Okay, the interviewer is like in his lust, just imagining it, and he wants Keyshawn to answer this question. How big of a fight would that be, is what he asked him. Keyshawn turned to that man and said, shit, y'all tell me. What? What you mean, y'all tell me? I cannot tell you guys how annoying I found that to be. I'm like, what is this dude talking about? What are you talking about? Y'all tell me, you know, I don't know, y'all. I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss for words. I'm at a loss for words. He just, the energy is needed, and he is not considering that, a lot of his success rides on the fact of people feeling and being incited to, get amped up about a fight. That's the allure. They want to know that you want to fight the best. They want to know that you're in it to win it, and they want to know that you're willing to step up to the plate to dethrone whoever calls themselves a king around and in your division. You know what I'm saying? 135 is truly a division that has been struggling, and that's why I asked the question: is it a curtain call for 135, or is it a fall of 135? Like, what are we watching at the end of the day when all is said and done, and we look back at 135? Let's say a year from now, and we look at these moments, would it all be for a curtain call? Meaning, like, would we be applauding at the end of the day when all of the performance is done, when all of the fights, are aligned? Will we as a boxing public be satisfied with what we see at the end of the day? Or are we witnessing in real time the slow fall of a division? I think it's very, very interesting a question. And it's one that I find myself asking a lot. And it's one that I have been asking quite a bit over the past, I want to say 2 years at least, right? So, there is no spark, in other words. There is no fire anywhere with these champions. And things like this is a part of the reason why. So I guess at this point, now that he's a WBO champion, of course, looking at his win and wanting him to propel himself forward, and stuff like that. The only question that we could ask as supporters is, now that you have a belt, who's next? And him refusing to answer that question about who he wants next, him making it official that he is on the hunt for the other heads of the champions around him. The refraining from that, it's impossible to imagine that he will have a big fight next. It's impossible to align him with, a Loma or Tank Davis in his next fight. Who is he gonna fight? Who is he gonna fight? All of this avoidance. You're afraid to mention the champion's name. You already made it clear that Shakur Stevenson is somebody who you will never fight. What is going on? Okay, it's insane to me. Who is going to carry the division forward? In other words, that question needs to be answered. It really does. Can 135 be saved from this apparent, lethargy it's going through, from this fall that it's going through, from this lackluster energy that it's been carrying around for all of this time? Keyshawn does not want to fight Shakur Stevenson for supremacy in that division. Okay. So if he does not do that, that means there are only 2 men left in front of him, that being Tank and Loma. Who of them is up next? Unification is way, way, way overdue here, you guys. And the reason why 35 is so stale and lifeless is because they won't face each other. I'm sick of that. You know what I'm saying? Can we see a shift here at some particular point this year? I would hope so. Or will we continue to be strung along as a public for yet another year or 2? It's sick, y'all. Okay? Tank's threatening retirement. Loma's threatening goddamn retirement. And the last 2 men who are champions say that they won't fight each other because they're brothers. They're brothers. They're happy and they're singing and they goddamn colored. Like, what the fuck is going on? They too busy high-fiving out this bitch. What's poppin', 135? So it's like, I congratulate Keyshawn for his victory, but, I can't help but have a little bit of pessimism about what will come of this championship that he holds now. Because it's like, if you're not going to do anything, if you're not going to be taking heads of the kings around you, what's the point of this belt? What am I celebrating with you, Keyshawn? If you ain't going to go for the heads of the other people, of the other champions, where's the unification? Does he want to be undisputed? I have heard no intentions of him. I have heard no utterance of the word undisputed as it pertains to Keyshawn Davis. I haven't heard him say undisputed. When is the last time he said that word, you guys? Have you guys heard it? Pass me the interview, because I have not come across one at this juncture. Does he want to be undisputed? What's going on? Is he just going to grab a belt, maybe, I guess the easiest option for him would be Lomachenko. Should Lomachenko return to the rings at some point this year? Let's say if he does not retire, he makes his way back. It's likely that he will fight Lomachenko and then, I don't know, move up. You know what I'm saying? Because I really have questions about if he wants to fight Tank Davis too. I was quite excited about when Keyshawn, as we touched upon as well, a couple of lives back when we met you guys, and we were talking about, I had brought up the point that, I was excited to see Keyshawn, call the name of Tank Davis at the first time that he did it some months back. And I was happy to see that. But real talk, this whole tug and pull energy that he has, 1 minute he wants to say his name, next minute he doesn't. It's just looking like a clout chase at this point. It's not looking like anything valid. It's not looking like he's standing on any real smoke time or demon time as it pertains to Tank Davis. It looks like he wants to say his name to generate a bit of buzz, or as much buzz as he can, and then move on to the next, for the reason why 1 minute he's so excited to say Tank Davis' name, and the next minute he don't even want reporters asking about him. That's not the case. When somebody is food for you, or when somebody is a target, nobody can say that person's name without you salivating, because that's how bad you are on their tails. I don't know how other people get down, but that's how I get down. You know what I'm saying? When I stake claim to something, I'm on that shit. I don't let up. You know what I'm saying? And that's how the fighters are that I support too. When they mention a goal, they don't remove themselves or evade that goal. That goal stays in place, and they stay on that goal, period, until they get it, until they claim stake to it. It ain't no, 1 minute, okay, I'm on this, and next minute, you know what? Don't mention that man's name to me. What is that? What is this? That's the problem that I have with Keyshawn. So even though I'm happy for his victory and I want to see him move forward and stuff like that, I think he's a talented fighter, and I think that he has a lot to prove in the division. I don't really wrap myself, too strongly around him, because, he's topsy-turvy. His moods are topsy-turvy. They are imbalanced and unstable. And I don't like that. And we spoke about that last week about, this level of inconsistency that he seems to be able to maintain. He has an issue maintaining consistency. You know what I'm saying? Do these men have the balls enough at 135 to prove me otherwise? I don't mind being proven wrong, but I'm from the show me state. You have to show me. Don't just be sitting up there talking and making it sound good and getting me all hyped, talk about, I want this person, I want that person, and you ain't doing shit to get them. No, we don't do that over here. If you say that this is what you want to do, you want to solidify yourself as a top gunner or the top gunner of that 135 division, the ship needs a captain. 135, real talk, has no real captain right now. I guess we could all, give the unanimous consensus of Tank Davis, of course, because he is the person that's kind of been, the main face of the 35 division for some time. And we already, we know what he brings when he shows up to his fights or whatever. So yes, Tank Davis is that. But Tank Davis got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Real talk to me, he got both feet out. He only got an elbow in now. He got an elbow in, maybe a toe, maybe a pinky toe and a half an elbow. But this nigga's out the door, as we will get into a little bit later in our discussion. But let me know what y'all think about that. And for now, let me see what my people are saying before I resume. Hey, everybody in the building. Let me see who I missed. Salute to anyone that I missed. Oh, the King Coach Hudson is in the building. Hey, Coach Hudson. Nice to see you. Lovely to see you. Hey, Jut. He says, salute, Queen. Salute to you as well. The King Forever is in the building. Forever, ever. What's up, King? Devontae F says, Dennis was a fake champion, gave Keyshawn his belt. Didn't he? Didn't he give that man his belt? Okay, he served that man the belt on a platter with some strawberries. Okay, some bananas, some watermelons, some almonds. Child, please. He put all the fruit, all the good fruit that he could, some pomegranate. He put that belt on a fruit platter and served it to damn Keyshawn Davis. Okay. Abdul Rahim, hello. He says, hi, everyone, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum. How are you doing? Like, share, and subscribe. Great content and good to hear a woman's perspective in boxing, knowledge, IQ, and breakdown. Thanks. Thank you so much, Abdul Rahim. That was very, very nice of you. Thank you so much. And I'm glad to have you in the building today. Thank you. Hey, Snoopy Mac, what's up? Nice to see you. Hey, we got Drummond for Life in the building. What's up? What's up? Yeah, y'all. I mean, that fight was insane to me. Insane. Hey, Mark Hairston. Is that how you say that? Salute to you as well. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming. Wasn't that interesting, you guys? That was so great. Hey, PG. He said salute. Salute, Queen. Salute to you as well, King. Nice to see you. Always lovely to see you. Hey, Uncommon. What's up, King? My people are coming, and you guys know I get excited when I see my family in the building. Hey, Drew, my big brother's in the building. Salute. Big salute to the Druth. The Druth is in the building. Thank you, King. I'm always glad to see you. Come check on me. For sure. Yeah, that fight was, you know, it's great, as I said, to see him, roll up and do his thing. I'm in support of, I'm always gonna rock with the brothers. Yeah, I'm saying the brothers who, got that talent and stuff like that, and who are showing up, and repping and showing that, their elite skills. I'm always gonna be, in support of that. But Keyshawn is just, he's a little bit too lapsadaisical in the sense of his energy. Like, he's not consistent with his energy. His energy is lapsadaisical. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he's just talking to just get some clout, you know what I'm saying, to get some headlines, some people talking about him and galvanize for 5 seconds, or if he's really about, taking the crown from the likes of somebody like Tank Davis. You know what I'm saying? And I can't rock with him because, he is saying things like, well, I will never fight Shakur Stevenson. It's like, bro, no. I'm just not with it. I'm not with it. If that's the case, move up. Either you or Core need to move up. Either you or Core got to move up. But y'all can't both be standing there, staring at each other all goddamn day, idle, and no activity is happening. Okay? It just can't happen. At this particular point, I'm very, very tired of the excuses as to why those two men can't fight if they are going to be remaining at the 135 division. So long as you guys are staying in that same division, you're going to hear this complaint from me. Until one of your asses move the hell up. Real talk. Hey, fool ass Earthman in the building with a 20 piece. The king is setting off our discussion the right way with a beautiful contribution to the channel. Thank you so much, King. He says he loves my little saying. He always says that to me. She may smile, but it's never sweet. Sugarfreemars, infinite love. Thank you so much, King. Thank you. And ain't nothing sweet over here. Okay? Let's go, King. Thank you so much. I appreciate the super chat. You guys make sure, before I forget, because y'all know I always forget to say this, definitely hit the like button, share, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. I got to get used to saying that, you guys. All right. So that's my take on the Keyshawn, kind of experience. You know what I mean? Let me see what my people think about that, if I missed anything. The Sweet Science Examiner, one of my members and my gunners, he says, I can understand why Keyshawn didn't specify who he wants to fight next using names, because I understand how this generation's fans and boxers alike react after hearing names said by potential opponents. Okay, Sweet Science Examiner. So you think that he would have had an adverse reaction from us boxing supporters if he had named names? I don't know what could have gone wrong if he named names. What do you mean, the reaction of this generation's fans? What kind of reaction do you think that would have garnered? Him mentioning the names of who he wants, of the other alleged kings in the division. What type of reaction you would have thought that would have caused? I don't see anything adverse that could have happened other than people anticipating you actually do what the hell you say. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of, but I'd love for you to, enlighten me about, your reasoning behind that. What do you think would be adverse? Or what do you think could have been, an adverse response to Keyshawn calling out people? I mean, it happens in boxing. That's what boxers do. You win it. If you get a W, of course, but most certainly if you get a championship belt, if you snatch a title, it's customary. It's almost tradition, to name, if there are other champions around you, to name those other competitors who you want to compete with. You cannot call yourself the best or a champion of champions if you do not fight and conquer the other ones. So I feel the logic, and I think, I don't know if you mean that people will be over presumptuous, I guess, in a way, and maybe put extra pressure on him. But I think ultimately that pressure really is just coming from the place of fans wanting to see him, conquer, wanting to see if he can conquer the other people, wanting to see if he can overcome the challenges by facing the other competitors. That's what I think, at least. Oh my goodness. Eric Jordan with a 5-piece in the super chat. I appreciate you, King. He says, first live. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. I'm happy to have you in the building today, and all my people as well. Now, let's get on to something else. And this is a brother who really is the one to look out for, in my view. Okay? Now, this is someone in the 135 division who I feel is absolutely next up. Okay? And who stands to bring some actual glory back into the fold. And that is the young lion, the young king, Abdullah Mason. What? This kid is the real deal, you guys. Okay? This young kid makes me so hype. Okay? Every time I see him fight, I see all of the potential just storming inside of him, and I cannot wait to see him up his level of competition. Okay? This young king is a throwback fighter to me. His style is throwback. His mentality is an offshoot of the throwback, mentality. He got the wits about him. Killer instinct in that ring is absolutely beautiful to watch. Okay? His last fight, the one previous to last night, we saw him have to overcome adversity. We saw his dominance. We saw his fire. We saw his get back in real time. What? Don't play with me about no goddamn Abdullah Mason, y'all. This young kid is my one. He's my one. He's the one for me at 135. And I could say at this particular point, when I think about it, he is my favorite at 135. I don't give a goddamn if he don't have a belt yet. He's my favorite in the division. Period. Abdullah is like that. Okay? And he will continue to prove that as he ups the ante in the division and as he stands in front of, more and more superior competition, which I can't wait for them to start doing. Unlike these so-called champions in his weight class, get this, in an interview, this is how real this young man is. Unlike all the motherfuckers who called themselves champions in that division, this is Abdullah's mentality, you guys. He said as plainly as a day in June, this is what this young brother said. The only people that I will never fight are my blood brothers. Period. Anybody else is on the table. This is what this young man said. This young lion was asked on Fight Hype in an interview that I came across last evening. Okay? He was asked about basically all of the, ridiculousness about what the interviewer called handshake agreements that are parading around the 135 division right now among the champions, right? Handshake agreements going on in his division are basically, promises that are, set to not fight each other, right? He labeled it a handshake agreement. I think that's a perfect term for it. And that was Abdullah's response to that question. The only people I'll never fight are my blood brothers. Do you hear this, warrior? Do you hear this, warrior, you guys? This is what I am talking about. This is what I'm talking about. This is why he has my 100% support behind him. This is why I call him the one. Pun intended. He's the one at 135. He's the one to watch out for. He's the one that's gunning for these people. And I can't wait for him to achieve his aims in that division. He is not with the nonsense. The young lion is saying, if you are a warrior next to me, if you claim yourself to be anything of a warrior like I am taking your head as my trophy. Period. This is the mentality that this brother is walking with. You have a target on you. And just because I know you, just because I laugh with you, maybe perhaps we have gone out for a cup of tea before, maybe we dapped each other up on a corner. You know what I'm saying? Just because I have a cordial acquaintance with you to some degree or level does not devalue my goals. It does not dissuade me from my goals. And it certainly does not negate the fact that you are on the menu. The young king is sharp, y'all. And I'm with it. I'm with him, if you guys cannot tell. This is what gets me excited. That's the mentality that I like. That's the mentality that I want to see with these fighters. The young brother is only 20 years old, yet he has the mentality that is levels above the champions around him. Excuse me? Talk to me nice. Talk to me nice, Abdullah. That's how I like to be talked to. Excuse me? The young brother is speaking my language. Put some respect on this young king's name, you guys. All right? He completely dismantled and shitted on the holding of hands that we see right now. All of this hold hands folly that we see right now, that these other cats are upholding as basically excuses to avoid proving themselves to be the best among each other. They're avoiding that. They're avoiding the proving of the best stance by saying, oh, I will not fight him. I will not fight him. And these quote unquote handshake agreements, as that interviewer so eloquently put it. I don't want no goddamn handshake agreements. Only handshake agreement I want is after y'all sign your name on that contract. That's the only handshake agreement, when y'all sign a contract and y'all shake hands like, yeah, I see you on the battlefield. That's the only agreement I want made between fighters. Excuse me? Now, Abdullah also stated that he wants a title shot this year, and he absolutely deserves it in my view. Okay? Young brother is lurking. He's lurking and he's waiting around the corner for anybody who wants it, and I am here for it, y'all. Okay? He's an intelligent, well-spoken killer. And I am impressed with this young brother yet again. And his performance last night was stunning to me. He dropped the opponent, Manuel Jaimes, I think that's how you say his last name. Dropped that dude 4 times. Okay? 4 times. And got him out of there in the 4th round. Devastatingly. Did you see how that man touched the floor? Oh, child. I was on my feet looking at that performance. Beautiful, beautiful work. That man was punching through that dude. Beautiful straight lefts, beautiful body works. The kid was throwing the uppercuts. I mean, just miles above the competition in front of him. There is no reason why Abdullah should not be in the ring with the highly ranked fighters in his next fight, if not a title fight, next, right? He's 17-0 for goddamn heaven's sakes. That means that he has more fights than Keyshawn Davis. Miss me with the prospect talk. I don't want to hear nobody calling this brother a prospect anymore. He got more fights than Keyshawn. Keyshawn just had his 14th fight on Friday night, and that was for a title. Miss me with the prospect talk. Put him in there with somebody like, if it's not, the title fight next, of course. Okay, put him in there with somebody like Artem. Put him in there with somebody like Ricardo Nunez, I think was a name on the list of some ranked fighters. Put him on there with some highly ranked fighters within these sanctioned bodies. Abdullah himself is ranked in the WBO and WBC. Okay, so that means at some point he could be fighting a Keyshawn Davis. He could be fighting a Shakur Stevenson, who is the WBC holder. Okay? Put him in there with these highly ranked fighters so he can get closer and closer to that title shot. He absolutely deserves it. If goddamn Keyshawn can get it, why can't Abdullah? You know what I'm saying? Why not end the year with a title shot for that young king? He's not a prospect anymore. That parlance has to be over and done with when it comes to him. It's time for him to get in there and prove that he's elite among the other warriors. There is no reason why they should be bypassing, the pathway to get him to show and prove who he actually is. We see who he is among these other people. Okay, let's up the ante. Let's really see that greatness unfold. Let's see, if all of that beauty and all of that, phenomenal boxing that we get to see can uphold itself among the top elite. I want to see that. It's time for him to do that. And I have no doubt that he'll be able to do just that when he's in front of those type of people. I can't wait to see it. What y'all think about that? Abdullah is, absolutely beautiful young man. Absolutely beautiful young man to me. I'm definitely on his team for sure. Yes, the King Darrow says Abdullah is real. I just think he needs some work on his defense. Okay, interesting. Interesting point, King. The Coach Hudson says the real deal, not on that friendly crap. Okay, he's not with that nonsense. He wants nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing. And that's the type of heat that we need. That's what's going to save probably the what we know as the glory division 135. 135 has always held that crown and been that crowned jewel. You know what I'm saying? Among the divisions, the beloved divisions in the sport of boxing. 135 has always been one of the pearls. Okay? And it's being ruined now with this inactivity between these fighters of this current era. After Devin Haney, it's like everything is up in shambles. It's ground zero. As these people are not even trying to, uphold the legacy of that division. So many beautiful brothers have passed through 135. Excuse me, you better put some respect on 135's name. You can't be all over here all crazy and inactive, not handling business, not standing on business, avoiding each other, not wanting to say the other person's name. What kind of soft ass shit is this? I can't stand it, y'all. It's crazy to me. Yeah, Darryl says, definitely put him in the ring with the top 10 or 5 guy next. 1,000%. It's more than due. Yeah, put him in there with Coleslaw Davis. Thank you, King Heru. Nice to see you, by the way, if I didn't salute you earlier. Absolutely, King Heru. Put him in there with Coleslaw goddamn Davis. You know what I'm saying? Because real talk, those are among his biggest comp as well. Let's say if Keyshawn doesn't get the likes of Tank Davis, you know what I'm saying? Andy Cruz and Abdullah Mason are, his contemporaries. Those are really, really his contemporaries. And so to have them hash it out to see which one of the young gunners, you know what I'm saying, can hold the crown would be a phenomenal, matchup. Either way you dice it, of the three of them to watch. Absolutely. The great Mike says, nobody can tell me Abdullah couldn't have whooped Baranchik. Chow. Baranchik wouldn't have made it to 4 rounds if Abdullah was in front of him. Honestly. Because the way he was, Chow, please. He would have absolutely annihilated Baranchik just the way Keyshawn did, if not worse. 1,000%. Thank you, Queen Shaquila. The youngest, but the most mature. Isn't he? Isn't he? He's not walking around bucking his eyes, all crazy and shaking his head and acting all, insane. He can speak clearly. He thinks about the things that he says. You know what I'm saying? He's very professional. He's nothing like the other, these 3 brothers, the Shakur, the Tank, or the Keyshawn. He's nothing like them. Absolutely nothing like them in his mannerisms. You know what I'm saying? And, he knows how to project himself without the antics and without the folly. He's a respectable young brother, and I like him very, very much. And he's an absolute dog in that ring. An absolute dog in that ring. I can't wait to see what's up next for him. You know what I'm saying? If it isn't a title shot, up next, then he needs to be in there with the top 10, ranked in the division. That has to happen. And, I would love to see him before the end of the year get a chance at a title. You know what I'm saying? Or at least at the very, very top of the coming year. Because it's time. It's absolutely time for him to be able to embark upon that, for sure. If it was given to Keyshawn, there is no reason why Abdullah should be in waiting beyond the year. You know what I'm saying? Now, moving along. There was a card last night that featured Arnold, Barbosa, and Catterall. I guess I wanted to touch upon that really quickly. Not so much because, hey, King G-Road. Nice to see you, brother. He says, peace, queen. His articulation definitely stood out most to me. Yeah, 100%. He's a well-versed young king. It's lovely to watch him and his development. And it's lovely, to watch, one of our brothers, absolutely be able to articulate themselves in front of the camera and with interviewers about whatever he is asked. He has no problems. He doesn't stutter. He doesn't mince his words. He speaks very intelligibly, and he makes his points, clear, and his objectives clear, for the fans and for whoever is spectating. It's lovely to see that, because we don't see that very, very much. Real talk, unfortunately, within the sport, and certainly not in that division. Now, Arnold Barbosa and Catterall had a fight, and it's not necessarily that it was an interesting fight to me that I wanted to touch upon this, but it's basically because it had a tinge of a point that I guess I wanted to make about Teofimo Lopez, who I do not like to speak about generally, but that I felt it was interesting to touch on at this particular time. Now, Arnold Barbosa snatched the W from Jack Catterall last evening in the UK. I think that was on the DAZN card that took place. Barbosa, it was an okay fight. Barbosa was basically the one that was putting the pressure on, though. Okay, he was putting that pressure on Catterall, to me, for a majority of that fight. Even though Catterall had his responses, you know what I'm saying, he landed some shots, some good shots on Barbosa. I felt like it was the pressure of Barbosa that, of course, edged the victory. It was a split decision victory, but I could see why it was edged to Barbosa. Okay, a lot of people thought that was a close fight. As I was looking on social media, people thought it was close, but to me, it was obvious that Barbosa took that, in my view. He was the dominant energy in the ring. He pretty much dictated the pace, and he had the more effective pressure to me. Catterall, like I said, though he did answer with some good shots here and there, it was not sticking, in my view. Nothing seemed to faze Barbosa. So whatever Catterall threw, it did not dissuade Barbosa from, coming back with an onslaught, from eating it and like, oh, that was it. All right, here's a 1-2. You know what I'm saying? Barbosa threw straight rights. He had the more consistent jab. He switched up nicely at times with body shots here and there. He just varied his onslaught. And that 1-2, speaking of 1-2, that 1-2 seemed to be his money maker against Catterall, because every time he seemed to throw that 1-2, it touched Catterall all the way up, and Catterall just could not evade it. Catterall, real talk, did not look like a champion to me in there. He just looked like, okay, he's a fighter. You know what I'm saying? He didn't look like the champ. He was in the fight, but he had no presence, in my view, Jack Catterall. No pressure that he had seemed to be effective enough to subdue Barbosa's aggression. All right? Now, in a post-fight interview, Barbosa called out Teofimo Lopez, and he said that he's essentially backed into a corner. This is Barbosa talking about Teofimo, saying that Teo is backed into a corner at this particular moment because he has nowhere to run, right? Barbosa snatched up the interim belt. He said that Teofimo's been ducking him for the past 4 years. 4 years, y'all. Okay? And Barbosa is basically like, you know what? Enough is a goddamn enough. And I think that they should have at it. Teo, he don't have nothing coming up, that I know of until towards the latter half of the year, with whatever he has going on with Turkey and the possible boot situation, whatever that situation is that Turkey has lined up for Teofimo Lopez. But, you know what I'm saying? I don't see nothing on the horizon, say, in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, you know what I'm saying, for Teofimo. Why not set this fight up in the meantime, in the coming months? Maybe something like, June or something. You know what I mean? Set that fight up with Barbosa and Teo. If Teo could line up a goddamn Claggett for a fight, y'all, he can certainly fight the WBO interim champ. Yes or no? That man was coming. He's been ducking me for 4 years. I'm like, Jesus, how many goddamn people is Teofimo ducking out here in these streets? He takes the cake. He's definitely on the list and on the high rankings for the biggest ducks in boxing. We know that. Now he's ducking goddamn Barbosa? I had no idea. It's insane to me, the antics and the charades of Teofimo Lopez. What's going on with that dude? How many people is he ducking? This is what Barbosa said about Teo in the post presser. He says, I've been number one in the WBO for 2 years. He's been able to pick whoever he wanted for the past 2 years. And he's picked guys that have 7 losses. He hasn't fought anyone in the top 1 or 2. That's Barbosa's statement in that presser. So he's obviously through with it and sick of it. All right. Teofimo, he really is a disgrace to boxing, you guys, of this era. Like, I'd be so through with dude. First of all, he been on the Schitt's Creek list for me. For the nonsense that he pulled with Devin Haney and that whole duckery and all of that stuff those years ago. Like, he's never earned his way, into affection as far as, the fighters that I like. He's never made his way onto that list for me because of his duckery. And it's insane that this man is now avoiding Barbosa, or has been avoiding Barbosa among all the other people that he's been avoiding. You know what I'm saying? Teofimo's a whole clown. He'd rather sit in front of a camera eating bananas like a simp, forgetting that, you know what? His wife quite possibly may be doing the same thing for a good-looking brother. She may be downing bananas too. How about that? Maybe that's why he's so obsessed with bananas and black men. You feel me? I'm so tired of that dude. It is what it is with Teofimo Lopez. So Barbosa called his ass out. I'm wondering if he's going to have at it with Barbosa, or if there's going to be another nobody that anybody cares about on his list before he fights Boots. And it's actually questionable that he'll even, get in the ring with Boots, real talk. I know that he's been hollering that man's name, but the way this man be ducking people, I doubt. If he don't want to get in the ring with Barbosa, he's been avoiding Barbosa for 4 fucking years. What's going to give him the wherewithal and the courage to get in there with a goddamn Boots Ennis? Child, I'm over that dude. I cannot wait till he's put completely out of his damn misery. I'm through with it. Absolutely through with it. Okay? Now, let me get into this particular topic, you guys. Hold on. Let me turn my little light on. Give me a sec. All right, that's much better. Haru says Teofimo ain't gonna do shit. Okay. Acondo, what's up, King? He says that baby ain't his. Child, there's a brother somewhere in the world saying, I'm the pappy. Teo ain't the damn pappy. All right. Now, let's get into this. Let's get into this nonsense, you guys. And you know what? As I was pondering about this, I really tried my best not to be, not to come off as heavy as it sounds, or as heavy as, I was thinking the thoughts, let's just say. But it was virtually impossible for me to not sound hard, because I am being honest. And I can't sugarcoat how I express myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want it to sound, I guess too like I'm overbearing. But it has to be said, because I'm not really hearing it said across the larger boxing world. Of course, the real ones are exempt from that, right? The real ones who cover boxing that we know and love, they know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? And they are always going to call it like it is. And of course, I'm going to do the same. But as far as the larger boxing world, I really do not hear an honest conversation being had about this particular segment that we are going to get into right now. What kind of complaining ass interview did I witness from Gervonta Tank Davis, you guys? What the hell did I witness, you guys? I took a gander at the interview that was released earlier this week on a platform called the Safe Place Podcast. the beautiful King Champside put me onto it when he covered it in his live earlier last week. And of course, from there, I went to do my own digging and my own researching and my own viewing of the interview. He was on the Safe Place podcast, y'all, where he sat down with Yachty, okay, who was all the way in his goddamn Oprah bag, by the way. It was basically one straight perm wearing motherfucker talking to another straight perm wearing motherfucker. It was a straight perm party, okay? Straight perm party. I'm surprised they didn't wear their, beloved hairdos to this interview. You feel me? I was surprised that they didn't do a length check comparison with their straight perms and see whose hair flows the most, luxuriantly, whose hair is the most resplendent of the two of them. You feel me? I was like, damn, child. Are we going to start flipping hair back and forth? I flip my hair back and forth out this bitch. What? Oh my God, y'all. But anyway, in watching that, I couldn't help but feel like I was in a goddamn, a therapy session. That's what the interview felt like to me, you guys, like a therapy session, low key. Gervonta reflected on, the themes that we've heard him, touch upon in the past few months, I guess, since back when we initially first heard his claims made back in November, December, basically repeating the themes that he wants to get rid of the aggression. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't want the aggressive mentality anymore. Repeating things like he wants to work on himself, better himself as a human being, things like that, right? And basically, he essentially said that boxing is not important anymore compared to that of these other values that he wants to switch them out for. Okay, that he wants to switch his focus to, rather. Now, the entire interview was pretty much a complaint about boxing and a wanting to shift out of the boxing lifestyle. Okay, and I actually found it quite disheartening that he isn't going on that journey right now, right? I found it disheartening that he isn't going about embarking on that journey to heal himself, in other words. Like sitting there watching that, it's like watching somebody complain about being a prisoner. And there's a feeling that there is no way out for that person. It's kind of like that feeling that you get like, damn, this person is stuck. I couldn't help but have that feeling. And it made me ask, because of that, what is he waiting for? What is Tank Davis waiting for? If this boxing life and this mentality and this aggressive, assertive nature that he has to assume when being a fighter is so overpowering and overbearing for him that it is destroying him essentially from what he is saying. It's hindering his progress. It's hindering him being able to heal. If all of these things are so attached to boxing, why are you waiting? Why are you postponing your leaving of the sport? What are you doing if this is really tearing you apart? Tank Davis looked like a child to me up there, real talk. He looked like a child sitting up there with the arms crossed and the little braids. He looked like a kid to me. And I was left confused in my feelings upon seeing him, in all honesty. I was left both wanting him to disentangle himself from the public life that he's apparently suffering from. I found myself rooting for him to do that. Like, oh my God, okay, well go get out. I found myself cheering him on to go attain the level of peace that he is so desperately begging for, apparently, right? But I also had the contrasting feeling of wanting to castigate him at the same time. I wanted to castigate him upon watching that because I'm looking at him pimping the very industry and the very people he's claiming himself to be a victim of. Facts or no? Like, for the people who saw the interview, did y'all get that feeling as well? He is complaining about a boxing life that is so basically emotionally tumultuous. He has been a part of it since he has been 6, 7 years old. So he's been doing it for a long time. He's got the fame. He's got the attention. All of these things that can be considered good, but that are, in some way, limiting his progress as a person, limiting his ability to be a father, limiting his ability to make peace with his past. All of these things are happening. Yet he's sitting in this thing with another fight coming up on March 1st. So he is pimping the very system that he's claiming to be a victim of, the very system that he is saying is spiritually tearing him to shreds. It was very strange to me, you guys. Now, there was a very odd dichotomy between these energies, okay? These two polarizing dispositions. Strange dichotomy between, this inflated sense of the persona. Okay, stay with me now. There's a dichotomy between the inflated persona that he has assumed for all this time, right? Which is the street kid, Baltimore, street life. I'm about that. I'm a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? Chrome hearts, all of this types of stuff that he's glorified for essentially by his fans and by the boxing world. But there is a dichotomy between that image and the hermit image, the reticent personality, the quiet, shy, I want to get away from all of this energy that he is saying at this particular point in his life, he'd rather dive into the reticent hermit personality. Okay? The recluse personality. That's what he wants to do. The man said he wants to disappear, you guys. He wants to be a recluse. So, these two images, you can't it's difficult to juxtapose these two opposing energies. It was very weird to watch. Okay. He's saying that he wants to live the recluse life, but he is not yet leaving boxing. He's not retiring at this moment, even though he is saying that all of this devastation is being caused in him because of boxing. He is staying in boxing. He's fighting somebody in what, 3 weeks? What's going on here, y'all? What's going on here? He's not leaving boxing because the reality is he is pimping his audience. He's pimping his audience. And y'all know I'm going to put it as plainly as possible. Yes. So, to the detractors or to the, naysayers, the disbelievers or the, riders, the glazers, whatever they are or whatever they may be to whatever degree, that's going to be hard for them to hear. But yes, Tank Davis is pimping his audience because he does not want to be here. He doesn't want to be here, but he wants you to pay for him to show up. Show up to the thing that he does not love anymore, obviously. Okay? So trying to figure out in real time if it's even possible to juxtapose those two images, it's difficult to do that because it's not working for those of us who are watching and sitting back and who are cognizant of what's going on, cognizant about what we are looking at. Now, when he was asked about legacy at a particular point in that interview, Tank proceeded to, in a strange ramble, go on and on and on in a jumbled, incoherent complaint. And it was a complaint that somehow landed on him mentioning the young King Devin Haney and being undisputed. Okay? I don't know what a question about his legacy and Devin Haney has to do with each other. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But he stumbled upon Devin Haney and the aspect of undisputed upon a response to that particular question about his legacy. And then he ended up subsequently complaining about Undisputed as a whole at 135 and how basically it's too up in the air. So this is him excusing and evading the fact that he has not, he has no intentions on becoming undisputed, obviously. So he complains instead of saying, listen, I don't want to be in boxing long enough to become undisputed. Instead of just keeping it real, he starts to blame the concept of undisputed at 135 by calling it too up in the air, you guys. I mean, I can't make this stuff up. So he strangely stated, this part I couldn't believe when I heard it. Tank Davis strangely stated and falsely stated that 3 people had been undisputed at 135, you guys. What the hell is he talking about? What is he talking about? 3 people have been undisputed at 35? Have y'all seen three different people undisputed at 135? What people have you heard being undisputed at 35 besides the one person that we know became undisputed at 135? Unified and undisputed, Tank Davis, in case you didn't get the memo, are 2 different goddamn things, sir. What the fuck? What three people undisputed at 135? Now, Devin Haney is the only and remains the only person in nearly 2 years or so, however long it's been, to have become undisputed in that weight division. He tried to downplay and devalue the esteem associated with being undisputed by painting a totally false picture that undisputed is somehow a wayward thing, an unstable thing. And it's something that passed through the hands of far too many people, basically, is what he is saying. Oh, it passed through the hands of 3 people already. And therefore, that makes being undisputed somehow invalid and baseless. Did y'all hear that part? This is what he said, for those of you who may not have seen it. Tank Davis said, quote, "It's just so up and down in the sport. When I say up and down, I mean like a lot of people don't know, but it's been 3 or 4 people in my weight class that's been undisputed. And they held it for only like a couple of months. I beat Ryan. Ryan beat Devin. Devin was undisputed. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's just up and down." End quote. What the fuck is this man talking about, you guys? What is he talking about? Moreover, was Tank's fight with Ryan Garcia an undisputed fight when he fought Ryan Garcia at 135? And what year was that? 2021? 21? 22? Was that for undisputed? Why the fuck is he bringing up the fact that he fought Ryan Garcia? That was not for goddamn undisputed. What is he talking about? Who is he mentioning? Y'all. I was so confused that there was mad points, various points of the interview where I was like, huh? What is this? What is he talking about? I don't get it. Him fighting Ryan Garcia was not for undisputed, nowhere near it. But he is bringing up the fact that this is his example of what undisputed is looking like and why it's so up in the air. That wasn't a goddamn undisputed fight. Moreover, Ryan and Devin, when he brought, that the fact that Ryan, quote unquote, beat Devin, that was at motherfucking 140. That had nothing to do with 135. So what is he talking about? I'm still confused at that shit. Like, what? My mind is literally blown, you guys. I need somebody to make this make sense to me. Ryan and Devin fought at motherfucking 140, and it wasn't even 140, technically, because Ryan came in overweight. But yes, the fight was initially set to be at 140. Nothing to do with the 135 division, and that was not for undisputed. What is Tank Davis smoking? I need somebody to explicate this to me. I need somebody to clarify and substantiate this. I'm not computing this. Like, my brain computer is not computing. You know what I'm saying? Do you guys hear how utterly ridiculous this man sounds? It's just mind-boggling to me. He then proceeded to say, because some people will discredit, and this is a quote, some people will discredit what I've done. I ain't gonna lie. My influence, my everything in this sport, even coming from where I'm coming from, like, I feel like I'm already up there with whoever. Floyd Mayweather, Sugar Ray Leonard, as far as where I come from, I feel like that's my legacy right there. Let's pause right here, you guys. So now the man says that he feels like he's already, quote unquote, up there with the likes of Sugar Ray and Floyd Mayweather. What has this man done? So when I said inflated ego, do you understand what I'm talking about? What has this man done to call himself as being among there with Floyd and Sugar Ray? Do you know who those goats are that you mentioned? And do you know who those goats fought to have the accreditation and the esteem and the reference that they have? Who the fuck did Tank Davis fight to give him this inflated sense of ego and posture? Do you know how those men attained that goated status that they have? He really has to be kidding me, you guys, right? This has to be a joke, right? And what influence does Tank Davis have? And what legacy did Tank achieve that is of a fraction of that of somebody like goddamn Sugar Ray Leonard? What, excuse me? This man has fought none of his rivals. How the fuck can you have GOAT status to that of the giants, the legends, and you ain't fought no goddamn body? None of your rivals. You've been ducking, dodging, evading, refraining from every rival around you. But you want to call yourself as standing with the giants? Oh, child, I got to hold my head on that one, you guys. I could not believe it, what I was hearing. And he refused to fight those champions to this day. To this day, in my wilder voice, to this day. You know what I'm saying? He refuses to fight his steepest competition. Was Ryan Garcia, you know what I'm saying, the one who made Tank believe that he's on par with Sugar Ray? Was it Pitbull that, or Rolly or Hector Garcia that crowned him, as worthy of standing next to Floyd Mayweather or something like that? Was it those opponents that he fought that gave him GOAT status, legend status? You know what I'm saying? Did Rolly give him the crown? Did Rolly cement his legacy? What the fuck? That's the most delusional, borderline demented conversation that I've heard in boxing yet, you guys. And what's worse is that he is not being checked for it. How the fuck could this man get up there and get on that microphone and not receive a heap of backlash after people come across that interview? Why is he allowed to talk like this? It was crazy, you guys. Another notable moment of that, crazy, reprehensible conversation was when Yachty asked Tank about his relationship with Turkey, right? And the potential to embark on a venture with Turkey, okay? He was asked if pretty much, if he's been refraining up until this point to work with Turkey simply because he does not want to go over to Saudi Arabia, right? This is what Yachty wanted to know. Is it because you don't want to go over there, right? That was the question. And Tank's response to that was, quote, "It's not that, they came at me the wrong way the first time they ever came at me, which they said, I would fight Devin. And then when he was saying like Devin was his guy, I'm like, if Devin is your guy, y'all got to pay me now extra. Cause already, I know what I'm coming over there for. You feel me? I got to get the knockout. If not, y'all gonna give it to him." If that's not the softest shit I ever heard, you guys, I don't know. That was soft as Valentine's Day roses, you guys. Okay, the roses that y'all bought, y'all queens, y'all ladies. He's softer than those roses that y'all bought for y'all queens, you guys. Just in case y'all were wondering or had any questions. Okay, what the fuck? kind of soft shit is that? Y'all gonna give it to him. I gotta get the knockout. Oh, y'all gonna give it to him. What? This man just basically admitted publicly that he ducked straight up and down, ducked an offer and an opportunity to fight Devin Haney because he does not like the fact that Turkey has ties with Devin. Devin has never even fought on a Riyadh season card yet, but now he's assuming that people are going to conspire to thwart his fight, to cheat him out of a victory. You tell me what fighter Tank ever fought that receded from an opportunity to fight him simply because Tank Davis is closely associated or affiliated with Al Haymon. What fighter did Tank fight that said, you know what, I can't fight Tank because he's Al's guy. He's Al's guy. I may not get the win. What the hell? Can anybody answer that for me? What fighter has refused to fight Earl Spence as another example? Just because Earl is closely associated and affiliated with Al Haymon. Who said, you know what, I can't fight Earl Spence, y'all. He's close with Al Haymon. He know Al Haymon. Al Haymon got his number. They can call each other at any time. I can't fight no goddamn Earl Spence. You answer the question for me, y'all. Okay? Turkey Al-Sheikh is building ties with a plethora of fighters and promoters. Okay? Including Canelo, right? As far as the fighters, Canelo, Bud, Joshua, Wilder has worked with Turkey Al-Sheikh. I mean, all of the biggest names that you could think of has worked with Turkey Al-Sheikh, and even more are lining up to work with him and sign up to work with him. Has every fighter that partook on a Riyadh season card, come out with a W? Hell no. Wilder is closely associated with Turkey Al-Sheikh. He lost on a card. Joshua lost on a card. Fury lost on a card. What the fuck is this nigga talking about? So you're putting all of these falsehoods into the public's consciousness. Okay, you're trying to persuade people that Turkey is now rigging his events for the people that he supposedly favors. I mean, it's absolutely childish and imbecilic, you guys. It's absolutely imbecilic. Now, all of a sudden, you don't want to go to Saudi Arabia or even partake in a Riyadh season card, wherever it may be, to fight Devin because you feel like they'll edge the victory over to Devin if you don't knock him out. What the... Nigga, just say you scared to fight Devin. Like, I'm tired of the denial, the fraudulence has to stop. I'm tired of the fraudulence, you guys. It's sickening. Okay? Sickening. Moreover, what was insinuated here also, was that he basically subliminally, excuse me, you guys. He subliminally posited that he basically can't knock Devin out. he said that, the subliminal message underneath all of that is a fear that he will not be able to knock Devin Haney out. That if he goes 12 rounds with Devin Haney, he will be outclassed and outmatched by the skills of Devin Haney. Oh, I got to knock him out. Who the fuck have you ever heard Tank be in question that he won't be able to get them out of there? Ain't he the knockout king? Doesn't his resume say it all? What is it, 90% knockout ratio, something like that? Now all of a sudden, I got to get the knockout. I'm pressured to get the knockout. Excuse me? Who did he ever feel that he couldn't knock out in his previous fights and among his previous opponents? Okay? He knows that Devin Haney will outbox him. That is what he is admitting. That's what he did not probably want to admit publicly, and that's probably what he wanted to mask within that statement of saying that Turkey is conspiring against him. But what he is really saying is that he does not think that he will be able to knock Devin Haney out, and if the fight were to be a 12-round matchup, he's going to be outclassed. Therefore, he's going to lose against Devin Haney. What the hell is the problem? What is the problem, you guys? The cap is crazy. He's willing to lie and to make a conspiracy theory about Turkey Al-Sheikh's dealings and his business dealings than say, you know what, I just don't want to fight Devin Haney. Just keep it a buck. Keep it a buck. bad enough your actions are already speaking louder than you ever could. We see what time it is, us real ones out here. We know what time it is, but just fess up. Stop capping and trying to pass it off on Turkey Al-Sheikh. He gonna go for his God. They're gonna give his God a victory. What type of lame ass, soft ass shit is that? It's crazy. What a fucking pussy. That's all I can think about, in saying that. Excuse my language, you guys, but y'all know I gotta, if it's on my heart, I'm gonna say that shit. He's a puss. He's a puss. That's it. And I rocks with Tank, and I have rocked with Tank for I don't know how many goddamn years. He's puss. I gotta call it like how I see it. You moving straight chump out here. It's crazy. There's no other way to put it, you guys. Devin Haney went to Australia to fight for 3 of the 4 titles. Okay? When he had to fight George Kambosos. George Kambosos insisted that when he won the titles against Teofimo Lopez, that if he fought Devin Haney and Devin Haney were to win, both fights will be taking place. The initial fight and also the rematch would take place in Australia. He insisted upon that. And Devin Haney rose to the call, even despite all of the warnings that people had for him to not go over there because they were in fear that he would be done wrong. Devin Haney ultimately won by a landslide in both fights, as we know. He went back to defend those titles again in the backyard of Kambosos. Dev beat that man even worse the second time. Every odd that you can imagine was against that man. Okay? People did not want Devin Haney a foot near nothing called Australia because they knew all the possibilities of the odds being against him. And he went anyway. Devin stood on business because that's the type of champion he is. That's the type of warrior he is. He said, fuck that. I want those belts. Those belts. The same little belts that I was dreaming about as a child when I was holding up Zab Judah's belts are the belts that I want. I want my own belts to hold up in the ring. Fuck that. I'm going. That's what Devin Haney said. Don't come at me with the soft ass shit. I'm going. I'm going to take his head. And that's exactly what the young King Devin Haney did. Odds against him, challenges against him, potentially insidious outcomes against him, and all, he fucking went anyway. And he conquered. That's what you do when you about it. He went over there and he conquered twice. Twice. In the backyard and on the turf of his enemy. Twice. When you're about proving that you are the best, that's what you do. Tank Davis, meanwhile, is on the other hand sitting there with his goddamn arms crossed like a 4th grader, pouting like a child, talking about, but you'll give it to him if I go over there. And that's, of course, if the fight is even in Saudi Arabia. Who's to say? Turkey done put on fights over here in America. So what has him thinking that he's going to have to fight in Saudi Arabia? Like Turkey already conquered turf over here in America and put on banging shows in America. Did he not see the Crawford versus Madrigal fight and how spectacular that showcase was? Stop the pussy talk. Then he goes on to say, well, you got to give me 2, 4, or 3 Ferraris, okay? Or there's no point of me going over there. This motherfucker sound like an Instagram model that's bargaining her way into getting flued out to Dubai or something. 2 or 3 or 4 Ferraris. You mean you want something like what? What is that? 1.4, 1.5 or $2 million? That's what you asking for? That's all you want? Motherfucker? You sound like a hoe. What the hell he mean 2, 3, 4, 5? Those goddamn cars are only something like, $400,000 or $500,000. Did Turkey not reportedly offer $20 million to this chump? And you talk about some goddamn 3 Ferraris. This nigga's math is terrible. His math is as terrible as his straight perm. What the hell? That horrible ass straight perm is just as bad as his math abilities, you guys. What the fuck? What's going on here? This cannot be an adult talking. Excuse me? I could not believe my eyes or my ears as I was sitting there watching that spectacle of an interview. You really can't make this stuff up. So real talk, Tank basically would work with Turkey. He just wants to feel a little bit more pampered by him. Okay, he wants a red light special when it comes to turkey. He's like, turkey, you can't get this thing for free now. You're here. I'm gonna give it to you, daddy, but you gotta pay for it. You gotta put a little extra roses in that bouquet for me. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta add a little more chocolates up in there. I'm coming with you, but you gotta add, you gotta put some bearskin rugs on the floor. You gotta throw some petals a little bit more over here for me to come with you. But I'm not refusing you now, as long as you throw a little bit more petals in this thing. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck? He want to get flued the fuck out, y'all. Tank want to get flued out. He want the red light goddamn special, y'all. Tank Davis said, child, listen, I ain't got no problem sharing the love. Shit. But you got to make me feel like a woman, baby. Oh my God. What? That nigga said, give me the red light special all through the night. And turkey, I'm yours. What the fuck is Tank Davis talking about? He want to get flued the fuck out. I'm through, y'all. I'm absolutely through. If that wasn't the most bitch made motherfucking statement, just oh my God. Like, I could not help but feel that, you guys. I just could not help but feel that. What? Hunty boo-boo. Hunty baby. He won't get flew the fuck out. Now, he then says, basically, this is what he says. Also, in another particular thing, this is what he says about turkey. Okay? This is his illogical reasoning, right? He goes on to say this, quote, somebody can't just come up in the game and throw money and not know the sport. At least put people around you that know the sport. Don't just come over here and throw money. Okay? Ain't that crazy? This is what he says. And then he also says, then you see everybody over there. Everybody that went over there got paid. Even like the whole Ring Awards, they got paid to be over there. Like, it's cool, but pay me extra. Yo! Yeah, if those of you who saw this motherfucking interview, that's what the fuck he said. I took the direct quote. I wrote verbatim his words. He said, it's cool and all, but y'all gotta pay me extra. This motherfucker want the red light special, y'all. Okay? He want the red light motherfucking special. He want the patchouli incense. He wants some lavender oil. He wants some chocolates. Okay? He said, you gonna work this here, daddy. You ain't gonna just have this thrown at you. You got to work for it. What? It's absolutely insane. Turkey doesn't know about the sport, pretty much, is his claim. That's what he's trying to say. And he's like, well, you got to pay me extra. All these other crazy, false narratives that he's painting, right? So now he's saying Turkey doesn't know about the sport. Now you tell me this. Why is Turkey aligned with all of the top promotional companies in the game if he does not know a thing about the sport? Matchroom, Golden Boy, PBC, Queensberry, Top Rank. All of these people he has worked with and made millions upon millions with so far in his short time at the sport. But he doesn't know what he's doing. The man has put on some of the most stacked cards ever seen, real talk, as far as lineup on a single card. But he doesn't know what he's doing. The biggest fighters in the world have worked with him. More and more are lining up to be added to that list of people to work with Turkey Al-Sheikh. But supposedly he's a novice. He's green or wet behind the ears. Has no wherewithal as far as the business of boxing or what it takes to put on matches. Is that, this is what he's saying. I cannot even call at this point after hearing that, I can't even say that Gervonta is pompous for such a statement, because that would insinuate, a level of, at least knowing what it is that you're doing and having a level of conceit about it. He has no idea what the fuck he's talking about. The man is simply imbecilic and absolutely ignorant. That's it. That's it. That's the only way that I can call it. Now, Towards the end of this interview, you guys, they finally landed on the topic of his fight with Lamont Roach, because for basically nearly an hour of an interview, nothing whatsoever was mentioned about his upcoming fight. But somehow magically, I guess they figured, oh, well, you do have a fight coming up. Let's spend at least, 2.5 seconds on it. So that's exactly what happened. For a good 2.5 seconds, they did just that, right? A fight that's 3 weeks away, they spent 2.5 seconds on. No energy was given to it, whatever. Now, the motherfucker sat there and talked about chrome hearts longer than they did this fight with Lamont Roach. And that talk segment about the chrome hearts had Tank more excited, and hyped up than he had been in that entire goddamn interview, interestingly enough. Now, Yachty asked Tank if he would be content ending his career on the Roach fight, or if he still basically had some more heads that he wanted to put on the wall, right? And this is how Tank Davis responded. He stated, quote, yeah, there's definitely some more heads to put on the wall, but that's always in the back of my mind. And he's basically referring to retirement and leaving boxing. So he's saying that there's more heads to put on the wall, but it's always in the back of his mind, basically his exit. Okay? Now, who the hell these supposed heads he wants to put on the wall belong to, I have no idea, because he was not asked whose head does he want to have on his mantle. And of course, he did not posit the names of whose heads he wants on his mantle. So there's a vague, assumption that, oh, well, he's still gunning for people, when obviously that's not the case, right? So he wants to give the illusion that he's still out there hunting, right? But of course, once again, there are no names given. All right. How are you going to put heads on the wall when you want the aggression out of your body? As we spoke about last week. Oh, I want this aggression out of my body. Okay. Don't you want the aggression out? How the fuck you going to go for the heads of people with no aggression? The same aggression that you said is basically tearing you to shreds. The same aggression that's saying is keeping you from being an attentive father or husband or whatever. How are you going to get heads on the wall? Don't you need to be a killer in order to do that? Don't you got to have the killer mentality, a sense of bloodlust in order to do that? How are you going to do that when that's the very thing you want to get rid of? You want to remove from your psyche, from your lifestyle, from your mentality. Are you going to claim these heads in the middle of a therapy session? How the fuck is this going to happen? Are you going to put heads on the wall in the middle of therapy and woosan and holding your ears and saying woosa? The fuck is going on here, young man? You know what I'm saying? Who are the names that he has in mind? Whose head do you want? Tank? Are there more 130 pounders perhaps on that list? More easy outs for you? Is it a Ryan rematch that you are thinking of? Pretty much the easiest out possible? So that you can look like you are still in the game while you simultaneously continue to avoid the steep competition around you? Is that what's going on? Then he mentioned Lomachenko and basically being told that Loma retired, right? So Yachty was like, I don't remember if it was Yachty, but he had mentioned Lomachenko, right? And in doing so, he said, quote, I felt as though he didn't really they were saying that he was scared. And I was like, I don't think that's the case. I feel as though he reached that point where it's hard for him to get up for a fight. I feel as though he's more so older now. He's got kids too. It's more so about the kids now. I mean, we still want to make money, but 80% it's about the kids. Okay? So here he's basically sympathizing with Loma's evading a fight with him. So he's saying, oh, it wasn't a duck. It's just that he's come to a point where boxing isn't in his heart anymore. And of course, he's going to sympathize with that because he's repeatedly stated that this is the place that he's come upon in his own life. Right? So he's finding a level of camaraderie and common ground with Lomachenko as far as the retirement being a reality and being on the back end of boxing and having a sense of disenchantment with boxing being, in their view. So that was the common ground that he wanted to share with it. I'll say this, you guys. I've stated this some months ago, right? Upon him, of course, initially dropping the news that he wanted to, part ways with boxing. I have no problem with him wanting to embark on a path of healing, on a path of peace, on a path of inner reflection, him doing his shadow work to realign himself spiritually, mentally, aligning, finding purpose outside of boxing and things like that. No problem with that, whatever. Nobody can be mad at a man for wanting to be a better person and certainly a better father or anything, of a sense of righteous uprightness for one's personal path. Okay? No problem with that. I think he's obviously found a level of importance within things that are like more family oriented. He wants a stabilized, sedentary life with his loved ones. Okay? I think that he should go and do that. I think that he should go full force and pursue that. What I do not think is that he needs to involve himself in any fight after March 1st, 2025. That's what I don't think. I don't think that man belongs in the ring on March 1st, quite frankly. But, he's got a fight coming up, contracts are signed, whatever, okay. After March 1st, I do not think Tank Davis needs to be in the ring. Period. Tank needs to pack it up and hit the motherfucking road. This man is not interested in boxing anymore. It is very evident. He's evinced it for I don't know how many months now with his statements. He's done. He does not have the fighter spirit. He wants the fighter spirit out of his body. Okay? He don't want to hold it on, he don't want to hold on to that anymore. He does not want to be responsible to or for the warrior spirit anymore. He doesn't want it. He doesn't want the aggression. He has no passion. It's over. Okay? He wants it all out of him. And instead he wants to make way for a soft life. He wants softness in his body. Okay? And to each his own. And he deserves that. If that is what brings him peace, go embark on that. Okay? You cannot be talking about you want to disappear. If you could do anything in the world, what would it be? I would disappear. What the hell? Does this sound like a fighter? This man is going to hurt himself in that damn ring, God forbid. You got to go, bro. All right? Because the things that this game, as he knows probably better than anyone, you know what I'm saying, that the game demands of you does not have room for softness. Softness can't exist here. Okay? It just can't. He needs to go ahead and go away. Pack it up and go home and stay home. Why would I, as a boxing fan, want to cheer him on in doing something that I know his heart is not in, that I know he would rather not be doing? I can't cheer that on. That's insidious. I can't cheer that on knowing that you don't want to be there. I go hard for my fighters because that's where my fighters want to be, just as much as I want to see them there. That's where they want to be, in the middle of the heat. So I give them heat. I match fire with fire. That's what I do. I can't cheer Tank Davis on when I know that he'd rather be home loving up on his babies. I mean, not that all fighters wouldn't, rather do that. But when they're in the heat of battle, that's what, I'm saying? The passion lives. He don't got passion that lives anymore. That shit done died out of this young man. And who am I to tell him that he needs to stand there and, die on a sword that he don't want to hold anymore? It's sick. It sounds twisted to me to expect that of him. But at the same time, that also brings the notion as why would I, as a boxing fan, look any further for this man to compete on an elite level? And why would I support him in his lies? Because if I see him in the fight, in any other fight after March 1st, it's a lie. Like the mystique is gone for me. When I see a fighter in the ring, it's because I assume that they have the passion to battle. And that's why I support them. When it comes to Tank Davis, if I see him in a fight after March 1st, I know it's a lie. I know it's a lie. And I can't support that. I can't support that. Because you're asking me to support something that essentially is swallowing you whole. I can't have that. And I don't want to be a part of that. You telling me you don't love the sport that I love. You can't have my support backing you. Uh-uh. For both reasons. Because, first of all, because I love the sport. And if you say you don't love what I love, then we don't speak the same language. And secondly, if it's a matter of your well-being, which is what I ultimately care about for all fighters, I'm not going to support, something that is causing your spiritual and mental demise. It's crazy. You think after hearing this man go on for nearly an hour complaining about how he wants to let go of the sport, that out of, nowhere, he's going to find some, vim and vigor all of a sudden? He's not going to find no goddamn vim and vigor. And he's definitely not going to find it to find all the people that we've been wanting to see him fight. This man wants the easy way out. He wants to land softly. He's not trying to go out with a bang. He's trying to collect a bag and get the fuck out of Dodge. So we will not be seeing him fight Shakur Stevenson. We will never see him fight Devin Haney. And it's looking like we ain't going to see him even fight Keyshawn Davis. Real talk. The man is done. He's done. All of these obsessive man fans who have loved him and glorified him, he don't even want no part of them. All the people that loved his knockouts, loved his gangster image, loved his hardness, loved his street cred, that's the same things that he's saying he wants to let go of. He wants to remove those very things that you glorify him for. He wants to remove them and eradicate them from his life. You loved his gangster image. He don't want no gangster image. He don't want no tough guy image. You love this, thuggery, image, this hardcore killer. He don't want to be a killer no more. He want to be a father, which is all good, but the very things that you loved him for, he ain't about it. So what is there to hold on to for these man fans that are crazy about him? He wants soft life. Even down to the jewelry that these fanboys dote over him about. He's saying he don't even care about materialistic things as much as he once did. Everything that you want him to be and everything that you hail him for, he wants to disregard and leave in the dust with you. Because he wants you in the dust too, the doting fanboys. If y'all didn't catch him saying, don't even come up to me, don't talk to me if y'all see me, nothing. He don't want y'all motherfucking sassy crusaders either. Okay? It really comes down to you're either in the game or you're not. And he's obviously done. So am I. So am I, real talk. I supported the young brother for as long as his heart was in the game. Okay? He held a place as a top gunner of mine for I don't know how many years. Now it's time for him to go on and live his own life. Go take your kids to school. Go play in the playground. Go make them some pancakes in the morning. That's the life he wants. And so I think it's time for him to do that. Go take care of that. But the dangling of the carrots in front of the boxing public's faces, in front of our faces as boxing supporters, basically claiming that you're the face of boxing, basically saying that you want people to pay, okay, for you to be at these fights. At the same time, you're saying you don't give a damn about the boxing games. Nah, you got to miss me with that. That's what I do not support or back. Go about your business and retire happily. Don't wait. The waiting is nonsense. I've been saying this for months now. I want him to retire. That is what I'm looking forward to now. In fact, that is the only thing I'm looking forward to as it pertains to Tank Davis at this point. I'm not looking for anything else. I'm not asking any other questions as it pertains to or relates to Tank Davis. He made his point very clear. Okay, and I highly doubt that he will retract his sentiments and all of a sudden, get the vim, to take heads and to fight the best around him, because he hasn't been doing it for all of these years. He's been evading his steepest competition. And I doubt that on the fringe of him saying that he has become completely disenchanted with boxing, that all of a sudden he would find the heart to do it now. You feel me? Let me know what y'all think about that. Let me check on my people. Woo, y'all been chatting. I've just been going on and on in my own little world, you guys. Salute to anybody in the building that I missed. Salute to Freedom's March. Nice to see you, King. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Akondo says, when a queen says this about you, you were brought out here in these streets. Facts. King Coach Hudson says, pouting, scraping, and scrambling. Wasn't he? The King Uncommon says, Tank said he a high class 304. He needs a luxury car to even talk about fighting Dev. My God. Okay. You ain't never lied. The King Freedom says, where my Birkin bag, Turk Daddy? Real talk. That's exactly what he said. Absolute diva. Absolute diva. How do you say this? Jalik? Jalik? Is that how you pronounce that? Yes, I agree with that. Absolute diva. Absolute diva. It was absurd watching that interview, you guys. I'm sure any of you who watched it felt the same way at these moments where you were just like, what the hell? Like, is this man really sitting up here saying that? You talk about, you gotta pay me now. What? If that's not the sassiest goddamn response from a fighter I've ever heard. Oh, child. Just say you don't want no parts of damn Devin Haney. Hey, Queen Sister Tay-Tay in the building. Nice to see you, Queen. Thank you for coming, sis. I always love to see my sisters in the building. Absolute craziness, you guys. King Freedom says Sugarfreemars, he's ready for his soft girl era. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He said, I don't want anything other than the rose petals. Okay, some daffodils. That's the only language that I speak. Talk to me in roses. The Jab Jamboree is in the building. Salute to you, King. Nice to see you. The Great Mike says he's feeling the pressure of fans demanding him to fight tougher competition. He'd rather retire than do that. So bounce. Exactly, Great Mike. Could not have said it better myself. 1000%. And this fight with Lamont Roach really illuminated and evinced that logic precisely. That he has never received as much backlash as he has for taking on any fight as much as he has received in going into this fight with Lamont Roach. People had questions everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Lamont? A lot of people didn't even know who the fuck he was. It's like, what? He had questions surrounding this, ever since this announcement. And then it was threatening cancellation, and then it was back on, and then cancellation was being threatened again. People were like, okay, I remember when the cancellation was being threatened the first time. I was actually glad. I was like, okay, good. Maybe he'll change that now that the fight is canceled. Maybe he'll actually go and set up something with Shakur. Child, they put the fight back on. I was like, oh my God, this cannot be so. This cannot be so, you guys. It was crazy. The King Stephen is in the building. The King. He says, peace be on to you, Queen. So sorry. Just got back from the gym. King, you never have to apologize. Okay? To see you in the building is always a pleasure. I'm glad that you even made the time to come chill with us today. So I appreciate you. The King Bean Pro is in the building. Salute. Another one of my members and one of my gunners. Salute to you. He says 2 or 3 pink Ferraris and some eyeliner, Turk. Absolutely. Yes, indeed. He said the matching bag. I want the pink Ferrari. Child, you better give me some pink Fendi shoes. He said, you gonna flute me out. You gonna flute me out the right way. Oh my God. Diabolical, you guys. I could not believe what I was hearing. Y'all. Insane. And that interview, nobody is, I'm not going to say nobody because as real ones are, but across the boxing world, it did not create or generate the wave that it should have. And that's how you know that so many people are lulled to sleep by Tank Davis's persona, even up till now. Even up until him saying that he wants to retire, even up until him saying he don't want none of his fans, I don't care how genuine you are or not, to even look at him on the street if y'all happen to run into him. Despite all of these things that he's saying, leave me the fuck alone. I want to back away and I want to find a way out of here. I don't give a fuck about you. I don't give a fuck about the sport. I don't give a fuck about legacy. Give me the bag. Flute me out. All he care about is being flued out. All right? If it's not fluting me out, don't talk to me. Miss me with it. Even despite him saying all of these things, people are still loving up on this man, deluded by, this air of him being, some type of, I don't know what the hell he is to these people. They're obsessed with Tank Davis. It doesn't matter what he says. They'll try to spin it. Just like the Beautiful King Freedom's March did a live the other day, and he put me on to some sassy ass channel who was basically saying that, oh, Tank Davis is basically, he doesn't mean what he says. Y'all got to read his body language. You basically have to intuit, what he is saying. So we got to become Miss Cleo out this bitch so that we could read the mind and the emotions and the mood swings and the PMS symptoms of Tank Davis in order to understand what he's saying. Instead of taking what this motherfucker is saying for face goddamn value, we have to intuit now. We have to become magicians and psychics in order to process what Tank Davis is saying. All of this except to accept the reality of what this nigga is saying. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy and diabolical, the lengths that these people will go to. It's insidious. Crazy, crazy, nasty work, you guys. Crazy work. I think that's it for me. I was going to touch on the the drug cheating thing with Clarissa, but I really don't think it's worth even going into, because we know that Clarissa Shields has always been, since the advent of her career, an upright athlete. She's never tested positive. She's a world-renowned, acclaimed athlete, gold medalist, multi-weight champion, and she's really single-handedly championed the sport of women's boxing on her back. And I think that for whatever reason, some people in the industry may just be around hating on her. And so the person by the name of Rick Glazer, who BFTB so eloquently calls Dick Glazer, because that is his name and his character, came out and, put out a tweet talking about, oh, it's rumored that Clarissa, she tested for some PEDs, child. Just as sassy as he want to be on his Twitter account. And, Clarissa came out and was like, excuse me, bruh, you don't want to get sued? You better put some fucking respect on my name. Okay. And of course, Victor Conti came out and clarified as well. And he stated on Twitter, he explicated the fact that it's most likely a trace of marijuana that was found that is likely due to secondhand consumption, like via a kiss or being in the vicinity of somebody smoking or around, somebody who was smoking or things like that. It's not the amount that would be found, upon actual direct consumption of it. So he cleared that up on his Twitter. And Rick ran back on his Twitter and talked about, I said reputedly failed a drug test and that it was rumored. I didn't say you did. It's like, nigga, who the fuck are your sources? Whose information are you getting from? Clarissa Shields tested with VADA for this particular championship fight. If VADA didn't say that she popped dirty, who the fuck are you and who are your sources more credible than a motherfucking testing agency that's taking care of her testing? Absolutely insane. But I wanted to touch on that really briefly. I had a little segment where I was going to go into it a little bit earlier, but I just find it to be so ridiculous and too simple, to even give that much weight to it, because it was nothing but a tabloid rant on Twitter for whatever reason to put something out there about the goddess Clarissa Shields, on the heels of such a phenomenal victory and achievement with her becoming a heavyweight champion in her recent fight. So I thought that was absolutely ridiculous. But we do have a fight coming up this weekend. We are rearing into the thick of things after we had a fantastic and phenomenal start with the Davids. Now we had Keyshawn on Friday, assume his crown as an official champion in the 135 division. And now it's going to be Shakur Stevenson's turn as far as 135. And I can't wait to see what he's going to do against Schofield. Now, Schofield done been talking online, child. Did y'all see the little interview roundtable with all of the people that's going to be on the Riyadh season card? I saw a little clip of it on my Twitter. And Shakur Stevenson basically addressed all the chatter and all the talk of Schofield on Twitter and all of this crazy talk that they've been doing. He says, all right, all that talking is done. We here for business time on Saturday. I'm going to make him pay for it. I'm going to show him that there's levels, essentially, is what he said. And Schofield's response to that, to Shakur and to the interviewer who posed the question, was that it admitted that he is not the one for social media banter. He does not go on Twitter. He does not go on Instagram. That it's definitely Auntie Sco that is doing all the talking. And he admitted that even sometimes he got to turn to his dad and tell him to chill, like for real, chill, chill. But of course, the man doesn't listen. He's too sassy to sit still. So he tells him to chill, but it's always to no avail. So I thought that was funny, that he admitted that his father really, really be doing the most, more than he needs to be. So I don't know. Interesting fight coming up. Schofield looked like a child in that little segment that I saw. Shakur looked ice cold, sitting there with his hoodie on. He looks focused, and I'm hoping to see, as we've spoken about in our previous lives discussions, that I can't wait to see how Shakur Stevenson is going to show up to this fight this coming Saturday on the 22nd. I want to see grown man time. I want Shakur to show loud and clearly, you know what I'm saying, how there's difference between grown man business and little child business. I want him to show the levels between him and Schofield Jr. So I can't wait to see this fight. I'm definitely interested in the Parker Dubois fight. I can't wait to see the Ortiz and Madrimov fight. Stacked card, you guys. Yo, tell me why. I don't know if this has something to do with the upcoming fights. Tell me why. This is random as hell, y'all. Tell me why I had a dream last night, a weird ass dream last night, that Martin Bacoli knocked Tank Davis the fuck out. Why did I have that dream, you guys? And it was bad. It was bad. Like, it was like hazardous. Like, his life was threatened type of, like, it wasn't just like, oh, like the sounds that Martin Bacoli was hitting Tank with was like a hammer. Like, the onlookers were like, get him out of there, get him out of the ring. Like, we were very concerned. Like, it was like a horror movie. It wasn't some like video game type shit. Like, the shit was fucking scary. Like, if we don't get this man out the ring, he's done. I don't know why I had that dream, you guys, but that shit got me like, damn, what the fuck? What do I have to look, anticipate? Is it a little hint? I don't know. I just felt that I'd share that with you because I woke up and I tweeted about it and got some laughs about it. So I don't know what the hell that means. Maybe it means we're in for some really tough matches, some exciting bouts, and some unexpected occurrences. Who the hell knows, y'all? I have no idea. My dreams be random as fuck. My dreams be random, but real talk, sometimes that should be on point. I dreamt about and was dead ass about the Joshua Ruiz fight. The first fight, I dreamt exactly what ended up happening. So I don't know. I don't know what the hell that's about. Random as hell. Maybe the boxing gods are talking to me like, girl, stay on your toes, girl. Some interesting stuff is about to happen as far as outcomes and matchups. So we'll see what happens. Let me check in with my people, see what y'all talking about. See if I missed anything. Anybody who came in, salute to you if I missed you. My people is talking to each other. I always love to see that. Hey, Steph Brown, nice to see you. He says, haha, someone said they cuddled after the interview. That's messy. Not cuddled. Damn, they probably combed each other's hair too. Ciao. 100% diabolical, great Mike. Dick Glazer, absolutely Heru. Okay? I'm tired of his ass and his fake ass sources. Thank you for the super chat here for boxing. Salute to you. Nice to see you. He says, first lady of YouTube boxing. Oh my goodness. Wow. I very much appreciate that. Thank you for the compliment. Eric Myers, salute. Salute to everybody. The great Mike says, even your conscience is telling Tank to get the... Exactly. My whole spirit, my whole being is like, get this nigga out of the way. Because he's really putting himself in danger. Is he not? You know what I'm saying? By not having his heart in it, you can't play boxing. He knows that. You got to be in this. This is not a game to play with. He knows that. Okay, we just, another fighter, passed away. I want to say maybe a month ago. And then there was one about a week or two ago who passed away. I want to say an Irish boxer, if I'm not mistaken. You can't play these goddamn games. You got to be on point. So if you want to hit the road, get the fuck stepping. Get stepping. Don't be playing with your life like that. And don't be playing with, the intelligence and the pockets of boxing fans. You are here pimping people. No, you ain't gonna be pimping me. I'm not buying shit. I'm not buying nothing. I'll buy you a goddamn Uber to get the fuck home safely. Maybe that I'll take care of, as long as you get the fuck out of my face and as long as you get the hell out of boxing. All I want to see from Tank Davis is the retirement. That's it. I don't give a damn what that man does after March 1st if it's not retiring. You can't be up in the ring playing like that. It's crazy. The King here for boxing says, I love what you do. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. And I'm a student of the game and I have people that I admire, that I look up to. And of course I learn from you guys, I'm saying, my people, my family who always talk to me about boxing and who, a lot of the times put me on to different things. So I'm just a student of the game and I'm just a lover of the sport, but I definitely appreciate you here for boxing. Thank you very, very much for that. I really do appreciate it. I'm learning. I'm learning, and hopefully I'm getting better as I practice. The lovely Daryl says, Barcoli knocking out Tank is diabolical, ain't it? And the way it looked in the dream was crazy. Like, I was literally thinking in the dream, like, who the fuck matched this fight together? Like, I'm thinking that in the dream, like, who put this fight together? Who matched these two men together? The damn size difference was diabolical. Okay? It looked like Bigfoot against the Sebastian from The Little Mermaid. It was crazy. Crazy. The visuals were absolutely crazy. And the sound effects were absolutely diabolical. The way he was punching through that mask, like, oh my God, if he get hit one more time, this is it, y'all. It was scary. Like, the dream was scary. Oh my God. I know. I'm random as hell, y'all. But that's dead ass what I woke up dreaming about this morning. I was like, what the fuck kind of dream was that? Child, had to make me some coffee. Like, hold up. Yeah, I think that's it for me. I'm trying to think if there's anything, else, that happened, of note. I mean, the real anticipation, of course, is what's coming up on the 22nd. And if anybody has any anticipation on March 1st, whatever 7 or 13 people may be awaiting that particular fight with Tank Davis and Lamont Roach, I guess that's another thing that's coming up. But the real anticipation, of course, is for the stacked card coming up on Saturday. I cannot wait to see that. I'm definitely excited about that one. And Abdullah Mason made me happy this week. I was so excited, and I'm so excited about his future. And yeah, I guess with Keyshawn, we'll see what's next up. Everything in my heart of hearts is telling me that it is not going to be a champion. And if it is, it'll be the easiest route, which is, Lomachenko, if he even returns, which is going to be lackluster anyway, because he already made it clear that his heart is not even in boxing. So it's lackluster even if he fights somebody like Lomachenko, because it's not going to be an exciting fight. At least I don't anticipate it to be, with that type of heart out of the game from Lomachenko. Prime Lomachenko would pick Keyshawn apart, I believe, but I don't know. I don't know what to expect, if he returns to the game. But yeah, that's it for me, y'all. Unless y'all got anything else you wanted to posit, or anything else that I missed that you thought, credible to look forward to. Let me see if I missed anything. Thank you, everybody who, gave a super chat. I really do appreciate the support. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Definitely consider, Bean Pro. I missed some super chats, you guys. Salute to the God, Bean Pro. Thank you so much, King, for being a member of my channel and a supporter of my channel. And thank you for the 5-piece you donated today. I really appreciate you. And the King's Freedom's March. My members are on deck, y'all. King Freedom's March in the building with the $1.99 super chat. He says, for the grind, sweet thing. Thank you. I appreciate it very, very much. Definitely consider becoming a member, you guys, of the channel. Got some special things I'm ideating. and creating to share exclusively and only with my members, possibly even some on-camera commentary. We'll see what happens. But, definitely consider being a member and supporting and being part of the family and standing 10 toes with your girls Sugar Free. Definitely hit the like button, share the video if you liked it. I really appreciate you guys being in the building this week, as always. It's lovely, lovely to have a conversation with you guys. You guys are so funny and so fun, and I always love coming by to talk to you guys. I hope everyone has a wonderful week ahead. As always, I'm wishing you guys a week of clarity, a week of prosperity in everything that you do. Whatever goals that you need to accomplish, get that done. And until next time, you know what I'm saying? I will definitely see you guys next week. And of course, I'll try to post in my community section in advance, the date and time that I'll be getting on live. Most likely it will be next Sunday again, but definitely keep up with me in the community page and see what's going on with me, because I will be talking to you guys there throughout the week to let you know. Thank you so much, beautiful people. I appreciate y'all for being here. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.